Welcome everyone to this edition of the YOGAmazing video podcast. I am Chaz, I'm your host, and welcome back. Now this episode is brought to us by Audible.com. Now they are the leading provider of downloadable audio entertainment out there on the web. They have thousands and thousands and thousands of audiobooks for you to choose from health and fitness. Maybe you're into fiction, nonfiction, maybe biographies, or maybe cooking, something like that. There's so many books out there that you can download from there. Please, you can take your choice by going to audiblepodcast.com/YOGAmazing. Now, a book that I would recommend getting, because if it was not for this person right here, Steve Jobs, he's got his audio. They got that book on audible.com that you can download and actually hear as opposed to reading. So there's a great book for you to go check out right now. Well, after class, okay? So remember, audiblepodcast.com/YOGAmazing, thousands of books. Please check it out after class. Now let's get into this week's email, and this one comes in from Angie, and she says, "Hey Chaz." Hey Angie, how are you? She says, "What yoga mat do I use? Can you recommend a mat for someone who practices 5 to 7 days a week Ashtanga and or Vinyasa?" Well, this is a great question. You know what, I've been getting a lot of different questions, for quite a while that were yoga related, some were yoga product related, some are music related. So what I'm going to do intermittently is do classes specifically about how you can help your practice through certain products that I use or would recommend, or that I think that would be great for the yoga practitioner who follows YOGAmazing or who just practices yoga at home. And a great subject to talk about is the yoga mat, because there are so many variations of yoga mats to use out there that I thought I would focus on this for a class, because it can make a world of a difference in your practice. And we'll get into that here in just a moment. But what I want to do is I went out to a local retail store and I shot a little bit of footage to show you all the different type of yoga mats that are out there, and the confusion that can come into play on, wow, which yoga mat do I use? So let's take a look at this, and after that we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more in depth on finding the yoga mat for you. Okay, so we're here in a local retail outlet, and as you notice, there are lots and lots and lots of different yoga mats to use, and that's why I thought this would be a great episode. So we're going to start over here. A lot of people are talking about the yoga eco mats, which are biodegradable and very friendly for the environment. And we've also got this cloth mat, which is good. A lot of people in Ashtanga use these on top of their rubber mats. And we'll get into that discussion when we get back to the studio. And then down here, there's a couple of mats that I don't recommend. This is like a roll-up mat that a lot of people use for like if they're doing aerobics or something. It definitely doesn't have a grip, but it's definitely good for getting a workout in. But I do not recommend it for yoga. So the question is which yoga mat is right for you? And that's what this episode is going to be about. And I think we need to go back to the studio now and go over a little bit more on what we need to look for in a yoga mat. Well, as you see, everyone, there are many, many mats to choose from out there in the yoga world, from retail stores to which you can purchase online. The question is, which mat is right for you? And I've tried many different mats over the years, and I've come to the conclusion on which is the mat that I personally like, which I'll get to later, but I want to talk about some other mats that are out there on the market that you might like as well. So we'll get to what I like, but I want to talk about all these other different products out there as well. Now, there are one big mat that's a lot of people are talking about these days in general is an eco-friendly yoga mat, something that is biodegradable, that if you do toss it after a certain amount of time, that it is good for the environment. Now, that's great. It's always good to be able to find a yoga mat that can help the environment and it can help your yoga practice. Now, I did purchase a biodegradable green yoga mat, as I guess you want to say, something that's safe for the environment, something that's eco-friendly. But I found that I couldn't get my grip. My fingers would slip or slide. Maybe because it's of the oil that's within my skin. Everyone has a different chemistry within their body. So you may find that it works fine for you. And you can find those at pretty much at all retail outlets and online, as like I said. It's a great yoga mat. I like it. It's got a real cool design, but I just found that it didn't work best for what my needs are. So if it's something that you feel that you can do, by all means, check one out. In fact, I'm going to be recommending some yoga mats, and you're going to find them at the YOGAmazing.com website. So please go there, and you can purchase them through the website. Now, outside of that, there's some basic yoga mats that you can get. These are just regular, everyday yoga mats that I use at the studio, and you can get them in multiple colors. And they work. And the one thing you want to make sure is, a lot of people when they come in who are just getting in new to yoga, is there's typically like a little label on the top right here in the corner. And you want to make sure that you're always label up with your yoga mat, because that's the sticky side. That's the side that you want to use for when you're doing your yoga practice, so that it can help you to stay in the poses. Now the other side is a little bit shinier, which is more of a non-grip, and you can grip it a little bit, but the surface isn't really made for necessarily the practice. It's the side that's always got the little label on the front. Whichever brand you buy, it's always got a little label on it. That means top up for your yoga practice. So, you know, the average yoga mat like these, you can probably get them anywhere from, you know, $15 to $25. Something that's everyday usage, something that's, I guess you could say generic yoga mat, you know, just a standard. And these are good. They wear okay. I would tell you that they're, if you're a practitioner on a consistent basis, I wouldn't recommend this, but it's something 2-3 days a week, something you can go pick up in the store. This is what a lot of people pick up. So it's a great little yoga mat that I think can work very well for you. Now, if you're a person who's into Ashtanga and things of that nature, what I've got here is it's a kind of a double practice mat type of situation. Let me move these out of the way. And what happens is a lot of times when people do Ashtanga, they do a portion of their series or a vinyasa, and they work up that sweat and they get real sweaty. So at the beginning, let's say, of their practice, they want to use that mat, the rubber mat. But then after that, after a while, they want to come down and do their floor sequence. So, and they're all sweaty and they don't want to get their mat all wet. Well, they put this on, and a lot of people will call this the Ashtanga, you know, yoga mat, rug mat. And so then it covers, as you see, the yoga mat. I'll get it over here. So you see it covers the mat very nicely. It's beautiful. I love the colors. And it's just a beautiful mat to utilize. But it's like one of those things where I use it when I'm on the floor, because if I'm really hot and sweaty from after doing my vinyasa practice, I want to be able to have the moisture go on to something like this, so that it doesn't go onto my mat if I choose to do a few other asanas or poses that where I need to use my mat. So now everybody asks me, what type of yoga mat do I use? Well, I've pretty much, as I've said, ran the gamut on using different yoga mats. But the one that I've chosen and the one I've used for the longest term has been the Manduka mat. And this is a mat that I've probably had for a good, oh goodness, 6 years at least. This one right here. Now I've got another one, which I've got over here, I'll show you. But the good thing, I'll tell you this, is because I've bought this mat, and this was probably, when I bought it, it's probably $60 to $75, probably more of that $75 price point. But the thing you have to look at is, how many mats have I bought in the past 6 years? One. And it's a Manduka, and it's worn very well, and it still has its grip. And I like it because it's thicker. It's not thicker spongy, it's thicker hard spongy, which enables you, if you're on a soft room carpet like this is, or on a hardwood floor, it's able to get you on a foundation if you're on a carpeted area, you know. And if you're on a hardwood floor, it gives you a little bit of that comfort as opposed to that hardwood floor, because a standard yoga mat is really, really thin, and if you're on a hardwood surface, you're going to feel it, like in your knees and things. And if you're on a carpet, you're going to have that little bit of a off balance situation. So this is the mat that I use. Now let me crawl over here and pull in my yoga bag here. And this is my travel mat. Now, whenever I go on trips or anything, I love my Manduka mat now. But of course, if I roll this Manduka mat up, I mean, it gets really thick and it gets really heavy. So I don't want to take that one on a road trip. So what I did is I bought this Manduka for the road trip. Now it is thinner, but boy, does it have that same grip and feel that I'm used to with the product. And this is no scientific study or anything whatsoever. All I can tell you is that when I'm doing my yoga practice, and when I'm doing my down dogs, or when I'm doing my balance sequence, I always found that this mat has always been spot on for me. And when I was at the, other places practicing, other studios, or with other people, and I'd have to borrow a mat, it's kind of like, it's very personal, as many people out there probably understand, is that a yoga mat is a very personal thing for each one of us. That it's kind of like wearing your own shoes. You don't want anyone to wear your shoes. You want to wear your own shoes and socks. And that's kind of like the thing that when I talk about yoga mats, it's a very personal thing. So My recommendation for anyone out there who wants a mat that it's well made and it will last quite a long time. Like I said, on these other mats right here, these standard mats, you're going to probably go through one of these every year, easily. Or you can find something like this. Now the Mandukas are a pricier yoga mat, and there are other yoga mats out there as well. But this is the one that I found that works best for me now. Well, I hope you found this episode very enlightening and was very helped you gain a lot of knowledge about what you're looking for in a yoga mat. I want to do more of these in the future because I think with over 300 episodes, I think there's other things in yoga that we could look into. It could be product related, it could be music, and it could also be books, and it could also just be discussions. So more of these things will be coming up in the YOGAmazing video podcast. After over 300 episodes, I think it's time to not only do our practice, but to also find other things to discuss as well, because there's so much that we haven't talked about that I think that this is a great opportunity for all of us to learn from each other. And I think that was a great question that Angie sent in. So if you have an idea for an upcoming episode, please send it to me. Chaz@yogamazing.com. Of course, you can friend me up in Facebook under Chaz YOGAmazing. And of course, I'm in Twitter and also in YouTube. So remember to breathe, relax, and have fun in any class that you do with whatever yoga mat that you have. All right? And so also remember to take the peace and the love and share it. Namaste.